Will scratched his head, letting his gaze wander. It had taken Rose a lot of determination to make this confession, but it was nothing particularly special for Will. It had apparently been little more than a review of information he already knew.
ありがとう、ローザおばさん。十分ですか、ウィル。これで話は。
No.
十分だ。おさらいになった。
To Will, Rose's memories gave only information that was already known. This was the first time he'd heard all that about her running back to the mansion after Beatrice fell to her death, but none of it was particularly surprising. Apparently, Rosa didn't know any more than this. If he wanted to learn more than what was in the fragments Bernkastel gave him, he would need to find new testimony.
リオン、金蔵に、俺が話をやはり本人に聞かなきゃ話は進まねえ。
あなたはどちらへ？
頭を冷やして整理する。ついてくんな。
それは失礼。どうぞごゆっくり。
After giving an elegant bow, Leon made a face, tongue sticking out. Unless Will had eyes in the back of his head, he couldn't have seen this last bit. Cut to him outside. Totally saw that last bit. Will returned to the chapel by himself. The cold air and the monotonous sound of the rain were comforting.
どう？ゲームは。
Oh, shut the fuck up. It's been like half an hour. Give us time. And he had come here for a little peace and quiet. As soon as he let out a sigh of relief, that voice rang out.
それは俺が聞くことだ。
It was as though she'd been sitting there all along. Bernkastel appeared on top of the altar once more. Beatrice's altar must have been extremely comfortable. No, she just likes being an asshole.
私を何度もイラつかせたわ。それに比べ、あなたは有能だから見ていて安心できるわ。
後ろ宮バトラの時と違い、誰の妨害もね、気楽なもんさ。
もうそういうゲームは終わった。物語は二度楽しめる。一度目はめでて、二度目は腹を引き裂いて。
ち、俺を肉屋だと思ってやがる。
どう？ベアトリーチェ殺しの犯人は分かりそう？
ローザの告白は過去のかけらですでに真新しい情報はない。進展はゼロだ。後宮金蔵が本当のことを喋らねえ限り、まさか俺が金蔵を口説き落としゲームに含まれてるとは言い出さねえだろうな。
そんなの退屈。真実を語らぬ金蔵はそれ自体が城に守るあなたのゲームの障壁になってしまっては。
拷問はやらねえ。俺の流儀だ。
分かってる。ゲームマスターとして金蔵から真実を得られるようにね。
Still wearing shoes, Bernkastel stepped into the casket, picked up one of the flowers that had been set as offerings, and blew hard, as though scattering fluff from a dandelion. Then, a single petal broke off and drifted down towards Will. No longer gold, but with the shine of a transparent crystal.
探偵権限か。
なに？そう違うわ。それは観覧席への招待状よ。
感激者権限か。それを元老院の許可なく与えることは禁じられてるはず。
私の誰が禁止すると？
Though the crystal flower petal danced in the wind, it wouldn't fly away until Will accepted it. He remembered how useless it was to argue with witches and snatched it up. When he did, the petal flashed brightly for an instant, melted into Will's palm and disappeared.
せいぜい私をついでにあなたも楽しむ。このベアトリーチェのゲーム版の腹渡がどうなってるか。
ねえよ。
After Will's rude answer, Bernkastel vanished into thin air, leaving behind an obnoxious laugh. After clicking his tongue, Will turned around unhappily. When he did, it felt as though his gaze had crossed out of a shadow standing right in front of him, near the door that led outside.
誰だ？
失礼し、声が聞こえたので、どちら様かと思いまして。
シャノンか。今度はお前が受付をしているのか。
はい、カノン君と交代で受付を担当させていただいております。
カノンは
先ほどリオン様に休みを取るようご命令を賜りましたので。
お前もリオンに面識がないのか。
Oh ho ho. Oh ho ho. Yeah, there's something surrounding the...
後ろ宮リオンは銀の指輪を許された
Still wanna know
次
what the
期当
truth
主
is behind those two, goddammit. Because clearly, yeah, Shannon and Shannon, they remember the games for whatever reason. So clearly she's like, yeah, I don't know who the fuck Leon is. They're just here all of a sudden.
10年も務めたお前が名前を言いよどむのは
それは
安心しな。リオンに面識がねえの。次期当主はクラウスの子供もジェシカだけのはず。リオンなんてやつが後ろ宮家にいたかけらなんて一つもなかったはず。
When she realized that Will didn't recognize Leon either, Shannon relaxed. Apparently she was a bit relieved to find that she wasn't going crazy by herself. However, her expression quickly grew uncertain once more. Yeah, because like, wait, if you know all this shit, who the fuck are you?
ここはどこなんでしょう。後ろ宮家の礼拝堂とでもどことなく雰囲気が違います。それにリオン様という方がおられたなのに旦那様も奥様も親方様もお嬢様も何が何だか私わからなくて。
リオンはベルンカステルが置いたやつを置くためにさらに大きな猫箱に変えたとも言っていた。それだけでなくどうもここはいくつかのかけらが継ぎはぎして作られたまともじゃない世界らしい。
It's as though there's a special stage set up specifically for this game. Crazy. I'm sure she's nodding at my thoughts right now, laughing and chomping down popcorn like a bitch.
この世界のお前は何年ここに勤めている
10年です。
I see. This really is a special stage. After all, right when I entered the chapel, I spotted Kinzo. Since Shannon's been working here for 10 years, this world takes place in 1986, the stage of Beato's game. In that case, Kinzo shouldn't exist. However, he definitely was here a few minutes ago. Berncastle promised all the information needed for reasoning was gathered here. She must have really packed it together to fit everything in. I see. So it really is a special stage.
お前はそれだけの長い間ならベアトリーチェのことをどれだけ知って
親方様が深く愛された方。
それだけか。
あとその六軒島の夜の主と言われていて、
そうだ、夜な夜な屋敷を徘徊するとささやかれる亡霊の名もまたベアトリーチェだ。
That brings the number of Beatrices to 3. The first is the Beatrice from more than 30 years ago, who is said to have given Kinzo the gold. The second is the Beatrice from 20 years ago, who met Rosa. The third is the Beatrice of the ghost stories, who is rumored to be the master of the night on Rokenjima.
フルドエリカの推理は正しいだろう。もともと六軒島に存在、そこに金蔵のオカルト趣味と謎の女、異分が次第に加味されていき、黄金のそして夜の闇が魔女という人格、それが連続殺人犯のベールとなる。
Apparently she didn't understand a word of Will's sudden monologue. Shannon tried to follow along, but she seemed to be having difficulty.
無理に理解するな。頭痛になら。
申し訳ございません。
カノンもリオンのこと。
はい、カノン君も私と同じでした。
Shannon and Kanon, is it?
カノンも呼んで二人に話が聞きたい。
When Will said these words, Shannon's face went blank and her eyes went wide.
申し訳ございません。受付を開けることは許されておりませんので、私
なら誰か代わりを呼んできて受付を変わらせる。
Interesting. So they can't be seen together at the same time? Is what you're trying to tell me here? No. Has there been an instance of that? Yeah. Episode 4? Was it episode 4? Episode 4 was the one with like the trapdoors in the jail cell. I think that was episode 4. So like other people have seen them in the same room at the same time, right? I think so.
あんたとカノンとリオンを知らない3人で一緒に。
受付は一人でいいと仰せつかっております。
二人いちゃいけねえとは言われてねえはずだ。
本日は人手が足りませんので、受付に二人も不要と仰せです。
誰がそう命じた？金蔵か？それともリオンか？確認する。
私の命令権者です。私は命令に逆らえません。
Whoa, wait. Unnecessary capitalization? Delanor?
その命令権者はそいつに交渉する。
交渉などできません。
Yeah, that's obviously, you can tell from the text. It's some...
私たちの命令権者です。
ここへカノンを呼べ。俺は拷問も感激も綺麗だ。
Slowly, Will pulled his right hand out of his pocket. When he slowly opened his fist, a small bright glow emanated from it. The flower petal given to him by Burncastle had become a glowing, sparkling mark on his hand. He held that hand out towards Shannon and slowly approached her.
カノンを呼べ。お前たちに確かめたいことがある。
お呼びできません。それでもなお、それをご希望ですか？
This is weird.
呼ばねえなら、お前を感激。
どうしてもとおっしゃるのでしたら、特別にお呼びすることもできますが。
Okay. But... there was some kind of incomprehensible tension between the two. Will stood there, his left hand still in his pocket and his right palm glowing and stretched out towards her. Shannon just stood there, her hands still folded politely in front of her. Her posture beautiful, and yet felt oddly as though windswept drops of rain were sparking and crackling in midair.
カノン君を呼んでまいりますが。よろしいですか？
Will's expression had remained unchanged the whole time. Shannon's face was still kind and gentle, and yet the tension was as icy as a frozen lake. Beginners in chess will sometimes move their king into check without noticing it. One might mercilessly capture the king in this situation, but high-level players are supposed to calmly tell their opponent about their mistake. If you take one more step, you'll get captured. This was similar to that. I see. So after all...
もう分かった。十分だ。二人で交代で受付を頼む。
Slowly, Will lowered his hand.
ご理解いただけまして助かります。
The glow slowly vanished from Will's palm. A complete incomprehensible tension melted away like a sugar cube in water. However, nothing had changed since the beginning. Will's expression and Shannon's expression were the same as they always had been.
おや、お帰りですか?
Footsteps approached them. It was Leon.
立ち話をしていただこいつに聞きたかったことがあったんです。
それは何でしょう。そしてそれは得られましたか？
ああ。
お役に立てて光栄です。
Okay, interesting. Okay. I'm just trying to think, man. So he said it was similar to like people putting their king into check too soon, was his analogy, and the opponent being like, I don't want to do that, buddy. So apparently calling for Canon would prove to be, what's the word, not unhelpful, but like, disadvantageous. It wouldn't be good, detrimental, there we go. It would be detrimental to his cause. For some reason.
それは残念。傘をお探しのようでしたら、すぐにでもご用意。
金蔵に話はついたのか？
珍しい客人がお会いするそうです。
ベアトリーチェのことを聞きたいとは。
それはあなたの仕事でしょ?
And tell him what you want to talk about. With a slightly mischievous look, Leon turned away. Will scratched his head and shrugged, looking annoyed.
まあいいさ。こいつを試すだけの話だ。
Will opened his right hand and showed it to Leon. It was just a hand without anything remotely remarkable about it. Leon's head tilted to the side in bafflement at the strange gesture.
ご苦労様です。君の名前は確か。
Oh, okay. Leon doesn't know Shannon and Canon, and Shannon and Canon don't know Leon. That's an interesting turn of events. Okay. Because he was saying, like, oh, you don't know the name of your helpers around here? And they made the excuse of, like, oh, well, you know, they get swapped out all so often, not going to remember. But they did specifically say that they knew Genji and Goto, right? They knew those names. But Shannon and Canon escaped them. They don't know who those two are. Whereas Shannon and Canon also don't know who Leon is. They're both just like, who is this person? I see. I see.
Shannon です。
そうだった。シャノンでしたね。引き続き受付をよろしく頼みます。肩を冷やさないように。
ありがとうございます、リオン様。
Shannon bowed deeply in response to Leon's kind words. There was not even a trace of tension in her manner.
参りましょう。せっかく時間をいただけたのです。当主様の機嫌は秋の空より変わりやすいですよ。
いってらっしゃいませ。
行くか。
Here we go. Let's go. I don't know, I'm digging this, like, confined space, right? It's not like, episode 6. Why did I have to pause to remember, like, what the last episode was? It wasn't like episode 6 where we're, like, constantly jumping from setting to setting. Oh, we're over here with this situation. Now we're over here with this situation. Now we're over here with this situation. We're just, everything's moving along at a nice pace. There's little breaks in between where, like, the different chapters are, but it's just like, you know, we're just keep going. Progress, progress, progress. Not progress A, not situation A, situation B, situation C, situation A, situation D, situation A, situation C, situation B, situation D, situation E. Like, no, it's just like, we're in situation A. We're in this one setting, this one spot. We got one dude that's running this shit. We're just keeping up with him and his misadventures. Ginzo and Genji could be seen in the VIP room. Ginzo was sitting back in a chair, his eyes closed as though in a troubled sleep.
親方様、お客様がお見えになりました。
Ginzo slowly opened his eyes. Those eyes were red from crying. They regained their focus and slowly fell on Will.
私が後宮金蔵である。
ウィル。
ウィラードだ。お悔やみ申し上げる。
ベアトリーチェの葬儀に訪ねてくるとは、そなたは何者なんだ。
誰でもない。誰とも関係ない。深く考えるな。頭痛になら。
もう少し言葉遣いにご注意をお願いいたします。
I ask that you pinch my ass a little more carefully. How about that?
おかしな客。それでこの私に何用か。
ベアトリーチェのことを聞きたい。
何？
Ginzo's gaze grew sharp. Leon felt a bit lightheaded and wondered why this guy had to be so direct.
聞いてどう？お前は誰でもベアトリーチェのことを知って何の意味があるというの？
俺がお前の物語を公正に聞き、お前はじきにこの世を去るだろう。その時、ベアトリーチェのお前の子供たちは彼らが好き勝手に考えた物語でベアトリーチェを
面白い若造だ。お前は遺言屋を気取ろうというわけか。だがそれは余計。ベアトリーチェは私だけの誰が何をか。私とあれの物語は誰にも怪我せぬ。何の意味も持たぬ。
No one can defile our tale, huh? Crazy how Badler was saying some pretty similar things not too long ago, yeah?
クラウスたちがどう曲解しようとも痛くも痒くもない。
ウィラード様、 親方様は生きているうちよ何事かを投げ出すお方ではございません。
Will, I regret to inform you, the master does not like wills, so you are doubly fucked.
だろうな。らしからぬこととは思っていた。
誠意ある限りあがいてこそ、それを早々に諦め遺言に残そうという浅ましさなど。
確かにその方がお前らしい。死ぬかもしれないから過去語りを記せと言い出すのは確かに。
当主様がベアトリーチェ様、私たちにとって当主様は最大の尊敬の対象であ
Hey,
ることに
Leon, shut up. Let
生き
the
るす
man
べての
work.
模範です。どうか迷える私たちのために、いかにしておじい様が彼女を愛し、その愛の強さを私たちに
なかなか達者だ。
あなたが言葉を選ばないからです。
若ず、お前はベアトリーチェ、真に無知なる者は関心さえもベアトリーチェの名を知っている時点で無知なる者ではなく縁なき者でも。
通りだな。俺が知っているベアトリ、お前がかつて六軒島に屋敷を設ける以前、しかしおそらくは死別して、それがクアドリアンで育てられていた。
ほう。
Oh.
ウィラード様、当六軒島には
そのクアドリアン、さっきローザおばさんと話した時にも、それは一体何なんですか？
察しはついてるはずだ。愛人の娘を囲う六軒。
面白い。クアドリアンの名をしろ。続けよ。お前に興味が出たぞ。
Ginzo shrugged and grinned.
クアドリアンにいたのはベアトリーチェの娘だろう。だが少なくともお前はそうは思っていなかった。
ほう。ならば何だと思っていたというのか。
後ろ宮ローザはクアドリアンにて、その中でベアトリーチェ、これはお前を前にしても同じ。彼女はお前を父と思っていると言ったにもかかわらず。
Uh-huh, okay. Interesting, that's right. She said that she thought of you as a father, but she didn't call you father. Sound familiar?
呼ばなかったのか、呼ぶことは許されなかったのか。
Interesting, interesting.
それが意味することは一つしかない。
それは何だというの。
生まれ変わりだ。お前は娘を忘れがたみだとは思わなかった。死んだベアトリーチェが新しい体で蘇ったと信じたんだ。源氏、
Which is what we saw in the meta world with episode 6.
あんたはかつて夏日たちの前で金蔵とベアトリーチェに子供はいなかったと証言したことが。
記憶にございませんが。
Of course, this game's Genji probably wouldn't remember that. However, near the end of the first game, when the survivors had all gathered in Kinzo's study, Genji was asked whether Kinzo and Beatrice ever had a child together, and he denied it, saying, "I have not heard of anything like that."
聞いたことがないか。何しろ金蔵にとってその娘は生まれ変わったベアトリーチェそのものなんだからな。
ウィル、何の話か分かりませんが、当主様への冒涜は許しません。
冒涜じゃねえ、推理だ。
Oh.
だが心は理解する。ベアトリーチェはお前にとってさ、死んでも色あせることなく永遠に。生まれた時から生まれ変わりだと思っていたわけじゃねえだろう。だが美しい金髪に青い瞳を持つお前は次第に生まれ変わりではないかと信じるようになったとしても、それはおかしいことじゃね
え。親方様、よろしいのですか。
Shall I drag this rude child out? Genji asked Ginzo. For a while, Ginzo hung his head in silence, as though remembering something from his own past.
娘は美しく育ち生き写し、お前は狂気したろうな。だがそれでお前が全て満たされていたかは怪しい。なぜなら当の本人にとってはそうではなかった。
なぜそのようなこと。
本人は自分がベアトリーチェと呼ばれることに違和感を拭えずにいた。人は 生まれながらに与えられた自分の名前に違和感を覚えることはない。だが彼女は覚えた。それはベアトリーチェという名が自分のものではないことを彼女が自覚していたに他ならない。
In Kodoorian, she asked both Kinzo and Rosa about who she was.
わらわは何者なのか。皆はわらわのことをそれは確かにそなたの言うようにしかしわらわはその魔女の魂を好みに封じられているだけなのだ。